Leo, Leo. Thank you for coming out for the QuickCap for Leo, the Zodiac sign. Now, Leo is the biggest of the fire. It's the fixed fire sign, fixed fire Zodiac. What fixed energies are very much in their own way. They're in their own form. They are what they are, and they're not going to change. They're not going to sway from that whatsoever. So Leo, being the strongest of that fire energy, they are expressing their form in their way, in their style, and there ain't shit all that you can fucking do about it. This is great. Why? Because the sun is the ruler of Leo. So sun Leos, that automatic energy and automatic personality, it is just very much in the natural state of what people are supposed to be. Now, this may sound a little bit strange because most Leos have that reputation of being egotistical, uptight, arrogant, and prickish. And this is not necessarily the case. See, that would be seen as more of a dark aspect of an energy sign. All signs have sort of a positive and a negative flow. And when Leo kind of gets into a darker way, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. They can be a bit of a pain in the butt. But that's not their actual native form. Rather, Leo is more of abundant exuberance, joyfulness, an energy that should be shared. It is a strong, raging fire that's going to bring about great things and great heat and great opportunity. It may be a little bit wild and hard to control, but at the end of the day, it's moving in its own way, in its own format, its own style. It's just doing what it was designed to do. And so that, at the core of it, is why Leo sort of holds such a strong energy for being sort of that prevalent, be your best self kind of format. This is why Leos are very much that queen, that strong, proud, look at me, how amazing I am kind of energy, because they radiate themselves in everything that they are. Now, with Leo, because of that strong radiation, because of that strong form, because of that strong energy, sometimes they can be intense and hard to maintain, hard to manage. When you're a high burning heat, you have to get a lot of fuel. And I say this for all fire signs, you got to find a good fuel source and you got to maintain it and keep it consistent. Leos need the biggest fuel sources. They need the biggest forms. And a drained Leo, a drowned Leo, you can tell the shift in the energy, you can tell the shift in the form. They just become a lot more sunken, held in within, contained and trapped within themselves. So when noticing this, that's usually a Leo that needs to re-tap into an energy form. Something's going to reinvigorate, activate, re-engage them in some fashion. Outgoing, expressive, need to be on stage, absolutely. All fire signs definitely do well when they're in movement, motion, form, competition, anywhere they can show their best and truest form of self. The Sun and Leos are definitely just strong, big, bold personalities, worth note, worth measure within every activity of the world. Now, if you see the Sun, if you see Leo as sort of that raging fire, Leo and Moon is sort of a weird one, because that raging fire itself is always going through motions of increase and decrease, increase and decrease. It's not really a benefit, it's not really a detriment, but Leo subconscious quite often feels very much because it's knowing more and needing more and craving more. Because it's something within us, it's hard sometimes for Leo connections to occur. A Leo and Moon I find to be more elusive sometimes than even a Cancer Moon. And it's kind of a weird concept that the great cat would be humbled by the energy of the moon, for example. Mystery affects Leo Moon really, really heavily. Leos in general don't like mystery, they don't like suspense. Leo Moon especially not. They don't want things to be kind of kept that way. It becomes daunting. They can see a lot of the outcomes, a lot of variables, a lot of possibilities, and it becomes a little bit angst-ridden. Very much a fire in their own mind, and needing to make sure that their emotions don't ever start to consume themselves, affect themselves, or hurt themselves. I would worry with the Leo Moon that they would become self-critical and I don't want to say self-harmful, but something similar to it. Something that just sort of drags them into the sort of a weird nature of themselves. Leo Moon should not get stuck in an isolation point or in a way where they're keeping their thoughts and nature of themselves far away from anything else. They should try to make sure they've got good friends and good relationships and good flows to kind of work with, but there can be a sensitivity to that ego as well too, a nature. Leos, they got big paws. If they get a thorn in that paw, it's going to have to get pulled out, but they're not very good at pulling it out themselves. Trust and trust issues can kind of be a thing when it comes to Leos, not just in general, with the moon, but in general as well. Mercury Leo, not bad, not bad. Mercury's got a lot of flame and a lot of fire to it, so it doesn't do awful with Leo. It can sometimes be a little bit more avant-garde, bold, aggressive, domineering, um, cutting than people mean for it to be. But at the end of the day, that's just learning how to communicate and when to communicate. And if you're a nice Leo, you'll actually care about those things. If you're not a well-adjusted Leo, then you won't care one fuck, and you'll just kind of give yourself out there as it is anyway. The thought process can be a little bit daunting on this one. If they don't measure up to their expectations, or if they don't see success from their own thoughts, actions, and activities, it can sometimes become, oh my god, I've effed up, I've screwed up, I've damaged myself. Self-critical again. Remember, ego is sort of the context that gets subscribed to most Leos, but ego is also the thing that fucks up most Leos. They're, I think, the one sign that get automatically cursed the most because everyone always treats them a certain way, and as such, they get put into their worst state by everybody every time they meet them. Can't be dwelling in your thoughts and can't be dwelling in your forms with the Leo Mercury. You have to make sure that you are consuming and moving forward, taking the energy of a thought and burning it up and moving forward into yourself and into your form with it. Venus in Leo, this one is not so bad. It can be a little bit bold, it can be a little bit aggressive, it can be a little bit prunish and a little bit, look at me, I'm so fancy, I'm so special. They've definitely got egos. They definitely have egos in love. They definitely think that they're the greatest gift of the other gender or whatever it is that they're attracted to. Courage drink. The point of the matter is a Venus in Leo just really, really appreciates that preening nature of love. Kind of possessive, kind of dominating, kind of, it's in the ego. It's again, in the ego. It affects in a certain way. Very passionate. Good energies when it comes to engaging with what they're excited with. The big trick here, if they know something is wrong, if they're emotionally unfulfilled, or if there's something irritating, again, a thorn in the paw, the relationships are shit, just absolute shit. Mars and Leo, aggressive, fucking aggressive, very, very bold, very out there, very cut to, through, and over anyone. They're very, very strong warriors, fighters, all of them in this case. These are your hunters, these are your seekers, these are your destroyers, and handling that energy appropriately can be really, really, really tough. They're intense, and it's just in the natural form of them to be intense. It's a lot of focused willpower. It's an incredibly powerful radiation of what their desire and personal goals and personal dreams may be. Very, very pronounced energy form. Jupiter and Leo, it depends who you ask. Jupiter and Leo I don't think is actually that bad. I think Jupiter recognizes that Leo likes that stage and likes that form and respects that energy. There has to be showboats. There has to be showboats. There has to be people that want to be the best of the best. And as long as the ego is kept in good check, I think Leo, Jupiter places well to present a strong, charismatic energy towards leadership, authority, and sort of sharing the energy and form with people around them. Saturn and Leo is not friendly. Saturn absolutely hates assholes in the context of the look at how great I am, and they're going to just wallop the living shit out of a Leo. Saturn's a heavy-handed asshole. It's the teacher of all. And so laying out those lessons and those efforts, it just takes a certain delight in hitting on Leo with it. Trying to make Leo realize how fragile and tender and truly small they are. Neptune, Leo, not bad. Energy form here can be, again, very much in that look at me, look at me. But it's more in the they want to be the next best thing, or they want to be involved in the next best thing. They want to have influence and form of influence in an expansive and growing way. They want to be relatable, and they want to be engageable, but they might also want to be mysterious, enigmatic, or in other ways unattainable. Uranus, Leo, good. This one, again, you're connecting not so much with the hearts of the people, but with the minds of people, and Leo actually works better in this dynamic. It's much like Cancer that way. It engages with them in a way that they can, they can absorb the worship and be the cult leader. Again, what's better than having 100,000 people follow you, right? So Leos, they absorb under the attention, and this placement definitely attracts and puts a lot of focus on them and their form on them. It's amicable to a Leo that wants to be in center stage. Pluto Leo, it's okay. I find Pluto, again, heavy on the fire signs. So it doesn't, Leo can hold up to the energy of that drag and still decide that it doesn't need to go through that transformation or go through that evolution or go through that form. So I don't think Pluto can necessarily undermine strong Leo placement, but it does definitely slow it down, hamper it up, trip it up. It's almost like working with a heavy ankle weight. I would expect at that point in time, people were realizing the limitations of the individual. We cannot be so brazen, we cannot be so bold. Decentralization of power could be now seen as a danger rather than a benefit or rather than a blessing. Pluto Leo, I would expect to be very changing to power structures and power systems during that generation. And so the people that come up around it, facing sort of an indignation or humility and needing to sort of come to terms with the smallness of their nature within the world. That would be the Leo recap. The Leo energies, Leo form.